I'd be okay if the whole first episode was him in that fucking egg. I gotta be real. They see me rolling. They hating. They got me riding dirty. Oh, cool. So it's gonna have one of those systems that the more shit that happens to you, the more you build your skills. So it's basically like a video game where, like, if you chop a tree down, you gain wood cutting abilities. If you can get hit by a rock, you gain resistance to thrown objects. Okay. Look at Tongue, what are you doing? What'd that tongue do? Bro, have you ever seen an egg defeat a worm? Well, you have now. Does the goddess feel us up when we're not looking? I'm a good with the dragon. Yup. Looks like a fucking demon. Well, that's unfortunate, huh? My isekai life lasted a whole 2 days. Ooh, this poor little dragon, what is happening? Guys, we are so back. This is the season of peak isekai. Got this far in the video. Make sure you drop a like, share your support, subscribe. If you're new around here and you know Patreon for live reactions and exclusives, also helps fund the channel and videos just like these. So, if you are a Soma Spider So What fan, this is about the next best thing. Have I completely given up hope on that ever getting a season 2? Basically. And given how good of a series it was, how profitable it was for the production committee, it's insane we never got a season 2. But you know what? I think the source material for this show might have come out before Soma Spider, but it doesn't change the fact for anime, that's really the last big monster pop-off isekai, MC's a monster, seeing how they evolve, that we've kind of gotten. At least that's what I've watched the last one of. And I kind of walked into this show thinking, not really expecting much. I thought, if anything, it gave me more Digimon feel based on the trailer than Soma Spider So What. But I'm happy to say, as one of the biggest Soma Spider So What glazers, this show is the closest thing that I've had to that show since it. I mean, it does have some elements of brutality. I mean, this shot here in particular, after some adventurers hunted him down, pretty interesting shot. But what's pretty cool about this is that something that I'm noticing a lot about this new anime season is that the power systems and its mechanics are a lot more engaging this time around than you often see. Noble Reincarnation, pretty interesting system where the main character basically, his power is based on those that follow him or anything in his possession. You have stuff like Rollover and Die where the main character's ability is the opposite of whatever the object is. This show, I'm not saying this is the first time I've ever seen this, but you don't see it enough where anything the character does basically increases the stats. You punch a tree hard enough, you're probably getting wood resistance in terms of like, or blunt resistance, something like that. You eat a poisonous mushroom, you're gaining poison resistance. No, you listen to humans talk and you don't know their dialect, eventually you're gonna gain, I think they called it Greek dialogue or something like that. What's super interesting is that they did something that I haven't seen done probably since like Assassin's Creed. Anyone who's played the Assassin's Creed game, you know how, like, when you're dealing with the visions and the voices in Desmond's head, you kind of hear muffled stuff as you're piecing together lost memories? That sound direction is basically what we had when our dragon hatchling here was like, I'm hearing voices, but it sounded like I thought there was God speaking inside his head, because early in the episode, some goddess Diddlehands comes in and gives him a hug, so I was like, oh, maybe there's like some humans like looking into a game screen? I don't know. Bro thinks it's a video game and I don't blame him. But over the course of this and her healing him after she realizes, well, this dragon's not a threat, my comrades don't need to cut it down, he's starting to understand the speech a bit better. So probably next episode after, we're probably going to be having conversations, I imagine. But either way, there's a lot of those little things that's like, oh, you don't see these mechanics a lot, and the way they're handling it, it's just refreshing. Like I said, I mean, I'm sure there's been some stuff since Soma Spider So What that maybe people will be like, oh, you know, this show's kind of similar. For me personally, that's the last time I've seen an isekai that kind of functioned like that. And to be honest, it's basically Soma Spider So What, but without the split story hook of humans and obviously Kumiko as a spider. For some people, that'll be a major selling point. For me, I like the human stuff on that show, so it's not really like, hip hip hooray, it's gone, but it's also not like a needed thing either. Like, bro started out as an egg and was literally rolling and hopping around, and like every time like the egg would like smack into the worm or whatever, he'd be like leveling up and stuff. Super cute thing. I could have had a whole ass episode or 3 episodes as him as an egg. But what's cool is it basically does kind of function like a Digimon Evolution line. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to go the route that he can go back and forth between forms, because that's the initial impression I got based on the opening, because we do see a larger dragon in the opening. And like I said, Ghost Hand Diddle Hands over here was basically saying you need to grow up big and strong. It basically sounds like a goddess, but it could also be, because here's the thing. For all we know, this could really be a game, and it's just some game devs doing some crazy things, making their AI think it's real. Or this is a dude who just fucking died, and, you know, for some reason the goddess took pity on him. I don't know. Either way, bro was presented with two options to evolve from. Either you go for the dwarf dragon, which is pretty strong, but probably has limited evolution potential, or you go for the dragon that's super tasty in stew, but has way more potential down the line. And after the whole diddle hand thing, he's like, all right, I'll try to grow up big and strong. Some super interesting mechanics at play, and the thing that I really like is, like, the first half of the show is just really fun, like, more fun than I was expecting. Like, I thought it kind of seemed cute, almost Digimon-like coded from the PV, but watching it in execution and seeing just the way they're writing things, I'm super interested, because you knew this girl was going to be his partner, or like they're going to make some familiar pack or something just based on the opening. But I'm really interested because they end this episode in a pretty dramatic way. Like, this is the difference we're dealing with. We got to go up against a big ass bitch who probably has killed her party members or close to it, and the girl who just saved our life is down for the count. I mean, I'm not saying he can't win this. There's been plenty of video games I've played where I fought things that were severely over leveled and we pulled it off, but I did that with checkpoints and restarts. I don't think we got that here, but either way, I'm happy. I mean, one thing I'm really interested in, which is really gonna either finish the twist of the knife in my heart as a Soma Spider So What fan. See, I run multiple titles on pretty much every video on YouTube because there's a thing called A/B testing. So depending on when you load up YouTube, you might see a different title, right? I've explained this before, but it's not me changing the titles. I just make multiple titles, and YouTube, after testing, will finalize on a title that it believes is best because of click-through rate. I have one title that is Soma Spider So What coded, and another that has nothing to do with Soma Spider So What. And knowing my luck as a Soma Spider So What fan who's been wanting that season 2, YouTube's gonna realize that the title without Soma Spider So What is better for every other viewer. Seriously, that show is so fucking good. I still can't believe we never got a season 2, but here's the thing. This show came in to say, hey, we're gonna put you out of your misery, not because we're gonna old yeller you, but because Soma Spider fans need to win again. So we're going to give you anime that feels like that. Even if this show was technically wrote before Soma Spider So What, it doesn't matter. That's the last anime we've seen. At the end of the day, give me more monsters reincarnated with the fun power systems. There's so much to explore. But for some reason, the Kirito clones took off more. But I think we're in an interesting time for Isekai fantasy reincarnation shows because we're getting some really good bangers anymore. Let me know what you thought down below. I didn't see like a lot of hype surrounding this, but I really like it. Will it be good for videos? I think so. But is there an audience for it? You can let me know down below. Either way, I'm just happy to say that Soma Spider fans, it's the next best thing to a season 2 if you ask me. But your thoughts, drop a like, share, support, subscribe. If you're new around, your Patreon is where you're going to catch my full live reactions. So some more like, hey, I love to give video shoutouts to my patrons because without them, you won't see these YouTube videos. So there we got Gaius, Shareable Cockris, Brian Missid, Waka866, Andy, Joseph, and we also have Artilia Farkas. So I appreciate the support. Please take care. You all have a good one.